Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Steven, and in today's video I'm going to be giving my predictions and thoughts and theories on the upcoming All Elite Wrestling pay-per-view Revolution. This is their first pay-per-view of 2020, and there are 6 matches on the card. Most of these I'm looking forward to. These are going to be some good matches. AEW has been pretty good lately. On TV as well. I watch both NXT and AEW, so I'm one of those channel flippers that flips back and forth. When I see one match and I'm like, I don't want to watch this, I'll switch to NXT or whatever. But lately AEW has been pretty good. There's a lot of rivalries that have been built up really well in the sort of format that NXT does, where it's like the pay-per-views are like a couple months of the year rather than every month like in WWE. So I think it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of really good matches on the card, and I'm just going to run down them and give my thoughts and theories. So here we go. The first match I'm going to talk about is Dustin Rhodes versus Jake Hager, which is formerly Jack Swagger from WWE, and Dustin Rhodes obviously is Gold Dust. But in AEW, they're now known by different names. But anyways, I'm going to say Jake Hager wins this match because this is his first official match in AEW. Like, he's been here as sort of like a bodyguard / like the muscle for Chris Jericho's group, the Inner Circle. And he hasn't really fought yet. So I think he's going to actually beat Dustin in this match. And then maybe down the line they could have another match between the two of them. I mean, the reason they're doing this in the first place is because Jake Hager broke Dustin's arm on an episode of AEW Dynamite, and Dustin wanted revenge, so he's challenging him to a match. And this is actually Jake's first match, like actual in-ring match on the show. So I'm thinking Jake Hager's going to win just because it's his debut match. And I'm sure there will be some outside interference from the rest of the Inner Circle, like Sami Guevara and maybe Jericho and LAX. But I guess we'll have to wait and see for that. But for now, I'm saying Jake Hager wins via either outside interference or just some way. He just wins because this is his first match. Next up, the AEW Women's title is on the line. Nyla Rose, who recently won the title on an episode of Dynamite. I think it was last week. She'll be defending the title against Chris Statlander. I'm saying Nyla Rose is going to retain just because she just won the thing. And I don't really watch the women's division in AEW too much right now. They don't really have anything like special in that department. I'm sure they'll get more women down the road that'll be like big time, or they'll make their women's division better as the years go on. But right now I don't really care much for their women's division. Same as NXT, kind of. Like, other than the main people, I don't really watch the women's division that much. But I'm saying Nyla Rose will retain her title here just because she just won the thing. And they can probably build up to someone else taking the title. They're probably going to have her face Riho again too, so I don't know what their plans are, but right now Nyla Rose will retain the women's championship. Next up, we have a match that was just recently added. I think it was like at the end of last week. Darby Allin challenged Sami Guevara of the Inner Circle to a match because Sami Guevara actually, I guess he took Darby Allin's skateboard and like slammed his neck onto it. I think I probably missed that part of that, whatever episode that happened on. And Darby Allin kind of wants revenge. He challenged him over, like, I guess on a YouTube video or social media or something. That'll probably be a good match too, because these guys are both good in the ring. But I'm saying Darby Allin is going to win and sort of get his revenge on, the Inner Circle. So that'll be one win for the Inner Circle from earlier with Jake Hager, and then one win here for Darby Allin. And the people opposing the Inner Circle, it's sort of like that whole Seth Rollins thing they're doing in WWE, where they have people opposing his group. So the same thing here with the Inner Circle. I'm saying Darby Allin will win and get his payback on Sami Guevara. Next up, one of the matches, I can see this one turning out really good, and there's a lot of story and detail and depth in this rivalry that's going on here. it's Kenny Omega and Hangman Page defending against the Young Bucks. Now, all 4 of these guys are in the Elite, which is basically, you know, it consists of like Cody, Dustin, Omega and Hangman, and the Young Bucks. I don't know if there's anybody else in their group. But, so all 4 of them are in that, and they're facing each other. But also, there's been kind of tension between Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. I think the story that they're trying to tell with this is that Hangman is sort of... I feel like what they're trying to say is that Hangman is sort of like the hero of the... Like, he tries to be the one who wins the matches. I think he's getting tired of Kenny Omega sort of stealing the spotlight. Or just something along those lines. But I think that's going to come to a boiling point in this tag team match, and that's going to lead to them losing the titles. Either Hangman attacks Kenny, or he just walks out on him, and the Young Bucks will win the AEW tag team titles for the first time ever. And then you have the Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page rivalry that's going to happen as well. So I'm looking forward to this match as well. That should be a pretty good... I mean, I think we've seen these 2 teams fight each other once before. I think they did like a tournament or something. But just to see them fighting for the tag team titles and on pay-per-view where they'll get a lot more time, that's going to be a really good match. These 4 are just incredible in the ring from what I've seen. So that should be fun. Next up is Cody versus MJF, which has been built up since their pay-per-view last year, which was Full Gear, I believe it was called, where MJF threw in the towel and cost Cody his match with Jericho for the world title because he felt that Cody was I guess too beat up or whatever, and then he ended up attacking Cody after the match. So then, in order for Cody to actually get this match, he had to go through something, like he had to fight in a steel cage match against MJF's new bodyguard Wardlow, and get 10 lashes on TV from, like, MJF had to beat him with I guess it was like a belt or something, or a leather strap 10 times in order to get this match. And then the third one was he wasn't allowed to touch MJF until the pay-per-view. So now that he gets his hands on MJF finally, I think that Cody is going to beat MJF, especially he has like Arn Anderson in his corner as like his coach, and I'm sure his wife Brandy Rhodes will be at ringside, and then MJF just kind of has Wardlow, so I'm sure there will be some outside interference on both ends, but I think Cody is going to come out on top of this, and then they can build up that, or maybe they can continue this somehow where MJF wants another match with Cody and he makes him do things, or however they want to do that. But that's probably going to be a good match too, and a really intense like fight and a brawl, because Cody wants to get his hands on MJF for the first time in months. So that's another one I'm looking forward to as well. And finally, the big one, Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley. Jericho's defending the AEW World Championship. Just the rivalry they've been building up with this one is really incredible as well. Like, Moxley won a #1 contenders match, and then Jericho tried to offer him a spot in the Inner Circle. Like, he offered him a sports car and all these other things, and instead Jon Moxley hit him over the head with a glass bottle. So then in return, Jericho stabbed him in the eye with a spike from his jacket, I guess. So, wrestling. But so Moxley's been wrestling sort of like with an eye patch on. It looks really cool, really sick, you know, like he's one of the best in-ring performers. WWE screwed him up big time, but and then Jericho's got like his new finishing move and his new Inner Circle group. I think we've seen Jericho as champion long enough. I think it's time for like a new era to begin, a new champion to be crowned. I'm saying Jon Moxley wins the title here. I'd like to see the different matches they could do with Jon Moxley as champion, like have him face, I don't know, Kenny Omega again. Like they had like I think it was a death match or something last year that was like insane. And they'll have like, there's just so many people that would be good against Jon Moxley that I'd like to see. But I think Chris Jericho will actually lose the title here and maybe get his rematch somewhere down the line or whatever. But Jon Moxley will be the new AEW World Champion by the time the pay-per-view ends. So there you have it, guys. Those are my predictions. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think, and also who is your favorite AEW star right now, and what is your favorite rivalry. Let me know that down in the comments as well. That's all for today, everybody, and take care.